This is gonna be a fun video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So the last few videos have been pretty fun, upbeat versions of myself, but I wanted to get a little bit more serious for this video and talk a little bit more about a very common experience that a lot of disabled and chronically ill people go through. This is also going to be a more open-ended video, so I might ramble, stumble over my words a little bit more, so apologies up front for that. But the thing I really wanted to talk about this week was how frustrating doctors can be. I've been through quite a lot with a lot of different doctors, specifically my pediatrician when I was younger, which I will definitely be talking about in this video, but I feel like that story deserves a dedicated video somewhere down the line, so I'm sure I'll make it at some point, but it'll just be touched on. So yeah, I took my hair down. There's so much I want to say. So I feel like for most able-bodied people who have never been to the doctor or have never experienced the frustration of doctors the way that disabled and chronically ill people have, it's you go to your primary care doctor, you do your checkups, you answer their questions, they see that you're doing just fine, and you go about your day. At least that's what I've been told. I wouldn't know. But unfortunately that's not really the case for a lot of people. I also wanted to say that I'm going to be drawing a lot from my personal experience, but I do recognize that Black people and Indigenous people, two of the main groups that are disabled, have a very different experience because of the color of their skin, and that is a whole different issue, and that you should definitely look into, but you should hear it from those people who are going through it, not some white girl on the internet. But I do want to talk about my experience personally. I think one of the most frustrating things is like when you get a test done, like a blood test, and your doctor comes back and says it's normal, and you're supposed to like be all happy about it, be like, oh thank goodness it's normal. But when you're in a lot of pain or you're going through a lot of things, that's so annoying almost to know that there is something wrong with you and the doctor to come back and just say it's normal. It feels like not annoying, but yeah, when the doctors come back and say it's normal, it sounds more like they're saying there's nothing wrong with you because the tests that I ran say there isn't. And this can be really frustrating when you're trying to be taken seriously and they're just like, well, it says they're normal, so you have to be normal, when clearly you're not. And I know a lot of people, myself included, who have been told this so many times that they actually will yell at doctors. I have yelled at doctors saying, okay, it's normal, but there is something wrong. You need to do more tests. Don't tell me it's normal like it's a happy thing, because it's not. And if there's any doctors listening, future doctors, current doctors, even nurses as well, if you're dealing with somebody who is telling you, I've been in a lot of pain, it's been a long time, I need answers, and they have tests that come back normal, do not come in there happy to say that they're normal. Come in just be like, alright, well these tests reported normal, so it's nothing like this, and then try and lead in more with, like, we need to continue to do this, because that'll actually give us hope that you actually care about us and that you want to figure out what's going on. Because when you just come back happy, it's like you don't care. Another frustrating thing is when you're meeting a doctor for the first time, you have to sit down and you have to answer a lot of questions just about what's going on so that they have an idea of what's happening. But when you do this, a lot of doctors will start asking questions without seemingly listening to you. This is something I don't experience as much, because a lot of the questions they ask are trying to get to a very simple solution. So like you'll say, oh, I'm having a lot of stomach pain and I've been to a gastrologist and seemingly nothing is wrong. Immediately they're asked, well, are you depressed? Are you anxious? Trying to figure out, is it the simple solution of anxiety and depression and not something very serious? And this is really frustrating because I understand that doctors are asking us because they're taught the simplest solution is usually the best. Or I think they have the saying, when you hear like hoofs hitting the ground, think horses, not zebras. Because it's usually the simplest solution, and to look there first. But it's really frustrating when, first of all, every doctor does it, and so it feels like they're not really listening to you. But also that if they actually just sat and listened to you, listen to your whole spiel of, I've seen this doctor and this doctor and this doctor and this doctor, and now I'm with you, it would have a lot better, the doctor would have a lot better understanding of, you've been trying to figure this out and you haven't, so you don't need to ask all these questions. Like I said, I don't experience this as much because I had skin cancer. At least this is where I think it's coming from. So I think I've talked about this before. If not, I'll just give a brief overview. When I was I'll give you a brief story. In 2014, I got a biopsy done on my birthmark, and we found it had cancerous cells, so I had to get a surgery to remove it. Luckily, we found it early enough, so I never had to have any chemo or anything. I just had to have the surgery, and that was it. But because of that, whenever I'm filling out a new patient form, a question that's on it is, have you ever had cancer? I have to answer yes, because of what happened. So I find that a lot of doctors are a lot more willing to listen to me because of that. It could also be the length of time. I've been dealing with my pain now for 11 years and I have no answer. So that could also be the reason, but I have a feeling it's more about the cancer, because I've had that since 2014, and that seems to be like the thing doctors latch onto, because they always ask me about it. I think I don't experience it because of the cancer, because I've already been through a major health thing. Like, I was a child with cancer. That's a huge deal. So why would I be seeing all these doctors if I wasn't, actually, something that was actually wrong, especially when I've been through such a big health issue so early on in my life. Also, I feel like I should say, don't lie on those forms and say you have cancer thinking you're gonna get better treatment, because I feel like somebody might do that. Please don't do that. I have to do it because it's what I've been through in my life, but don't lie. Please be honest. I just feel like I need to say that for some reason, so I will. But yeah, I've left a lot of doctor's appointments feeling defeated and feeling like they just don't care. And when you have a doctor that doesn't care, or at least you believe they don't care, it's very hard to listen to them and to trust them. And that's a huge part of the doctor-patient relationship is you have to trust them that they have your best interest at heart. And when you don't have that trust, it becomes very hard to agree to minor things like a blood test or a CAT scan or something, or even something even more major like some sort of surgery. So it's very important to have that trust, and it's very frustrating when a doctor, the first time you meet them, seemingly doesn't have that trust with you, and so you don't trust them. Another thing, I think being so young is also makes it harder, because I walk in saying, hey, I have back pain. They're like, well, you sit at school all the time. Like, of course you have back pain. Or at least now being 21, it's like, well, you're getting older. That's just what happens. It's like, okay, well, why have I had this pain since I was 10? And especially being so young, I think a lot of doctors think, well, you don't know your body. But I do. I went to medical school, so I know your body, despite the fact that you just met me. And it sucks, because it feels like you have to scream and cry and break down to get a simple test done, and it sucks. And that's why self-diagnosing is such a, well, I don't know if this is the reason, this is my theory, my thoughts, as to why self-diagnosing is such a big thing. It's just because it's easier for you, because it's your body, you know your body. Yeah, I don't know a lot of medical stuff, but I know my body, and I know other people's experiences. I can hear about them from people like me on the internet to others who are going through similar things that you are, that have the same symptoms, to then look it up yourself and diagnose yourself. And I definitely think this is valid. I've done it before. Especially because then you can start like finding things that help you. Like, I just got these compression socks because I think I might have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and that also means that I might have POTS. And when you're traveling a lot, having compression socks, compression leggings, it can help a lot of the symptoms that you get. So I bought some to try them out. I use a cane to help me with my mobility because I noticed it helped me more. I'm very particular with the shoes that I buy for the same reason. So, if you suspect that you have something and a doctor won't listen to you or you can't get in, feel free to do research on your own, and if it resonates with you, a lot of the symptoms, and you feel like, hey, this might be what I have, feel free to buy things, try them out, because if you have that, like whatever it is, then you have the tools that you need to help you already, and the doctor can simply maybe give you certain medications, make a treatment plan for you, but you at least have the things, like you've already bought them, so you know that they work. And at the other end, if you don't have it, the battery's gonna die. Hopefully I can finish this, because I don't think I have another battery. But at the other end, if you don't have it, well, you could have something else, and if those things help, well, you have something that those mobility things help you, so you didn't buy them for nothing. But yeah, I don't really have a positive way of ending this video. Feel free to comment down below your story if you're comfortable with that, or anything at all. I'm happy to read it. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm trying to finish this before my camera dies. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video that's a lot happier than this one. Bye.